Okay, for those of you who just watched me fill up that feeder, there they are feeding, and they pretty much, um, there's pretty much zero waste. They'll eat and they can't peck the food out. Anyway, this video is just to show you guys some tips I find very helpful for me to build this recycled chicken coop. I used all recycled stuff, starting with this cage. I got this cage from Craigslist. It's just a pop-up tent, and all I did was got rid of the tarp and I lined it with this vinyl screen. The screen, I think, is one of the very few things I bought. Then I used recycled lattice and roofing material for the center. So just some tips on what you might want to put into your house, your chicken coop as you build it. Is I have this door here because a lot of kids go in and out of here, and what I wanted to do was I tied some weight on here, and when I positioned the door, I tried to balance it or plumb it. Well, not exactly plumb, so I threw it a little off plumb, so when the kids forget to close the door, it automatically closes because it's sloped towards the end. And then at night, when we do lock it up, I have this little sliding lock right here. If you look at the bottom, there's a pipe buried in the ground, and this pipe slides into this one here. So this pipe slides in and out, and to hold it open, I just put it on this little rest so I can keep it open. But at night, what we do is we just set it all the way down, and that way dogs or whatever or cats can't get in. Another thing I find really useful is when I let the chickens free range, right at sunset they come back to their home. So when they're free ranging, I have this door open, and if you can see, there's this is like a pigeon trap door. So they push their way in and they can't come out because when they can't really find they can't come out. So I find this really helpful, so I don't have to go looking for the chickens at night. What else do we have? And when I'm on the inside, if I have this locked up here, I find that it's way easier to just use this weight to keep the door from automatically or popping open. So this weight just holds the door closed while I'm on the inside. It's way easier from the inside to just do this than it is to slide this up and down. On the inside, I'll show you a couple more things that I find really helpful. I put all of these roosting places, these perches or roosting places, they like to sleep way at the top. So when I have the adult chickens in here, they always come up here, and I think 6 or 7 of them can fit up here, and none of them sleep below this level. They're all up here. Another thing I kind of find fun or good for the chickens is when there's adult chickens with chicks, I have these little arch or half dome, or what do you call, half cylinder things. These are from where I work. These are old parts of an engine, a cylinder of the engine. But anyway, those are all worn, and they were going to throw it away, so they let me take them, and I just use them. The reason for these are when the big chickens attack the little ones, they have places to hide and run away from them. If not, those big chickens always corner them in the middle and they start pecking on them. So I have these all over, and these are just recycled parts from a huge diesel engine. Another thing I like is, although these chickens free range, at night they come in, and sometimes I don't let them free range on certain days. So I always have these plants in here, and to prevent them from killing the plants, I have this little cage, and this is the same cage that I used to corral them, if you saw my other video. But I keep this cage right over it, right over the plants, so they can't kill it. And then when I want them to eat, trim it down, I just lift it up. What else do I have in here? I used this recycled ladder. It was a damaged ladder, and I thought I'd use it to make a perfect perch. And to give them a little better grip, I took recycled fire hose, and all I did was I lined a couple of these so they have a better grip on the metal. What else is there in here? Oh, this feeder, I'm sure you've seen in my other video. Well, if you haven't seen in my other videos, it's just a 5-gallon bottle hanging. So I can see in there. There's about maybe 3 inches of food. in there. But basically this is an old aluminum wok cover for Chinese cooking. And I used a recycled 5-gallon bucket. And if you see in there, you can see the neck of the bottle. And there's about that much space on the bottom between the neck, between the mouth of the bottle and the floor of the 5-gallon bucket. So when they peck their head in, there's hardly any waste because they can't toss the food out. And I put this aluminum cover on here just as a protection for rain. And I just threw on this little, this big flower pot over the top. And the only reason for this is during the storms, rain hits the bottle, and this prevents the water from going into the feeder. And I hang it up off the ground, and I use chains. And the reason for the chains is so I can adjust the height of the feeder to keep it off the ground. There's less chance that rodents and other insects crawl in there. Oh, here's another one. Since I have a 24/7 electricity running in here, I use this recycled bottle to protect the electrical connection. This basically just flipped over so the water can't get in there. And I have this lamp that I found at a secondhand store. I did have to buy this bulb, and this is one of those LED bulbs, which is, right now they're kind of expensive, but they use a lot less electricity. But when the chicks are like 1 or 2 days old, up until the first 2 weeks, I use a regular incandescent lamp for their heater. And we have 100% free electricity from our solar panels on our rooftop. So I kind of don't mind using incandescent lights for that purpose. What else do I have? Oh, if you look on, so I can film this. I put this grating right here. This is the recycled off an old refrigerator, but I keep it at the door because if you don't, the chickens will peck and dig at the door, and what they do is they prevent the door from closing all the way because they build mounds of dirt, or they can escape out. So I just stake this in the ground and I leave it right there. And I also use it for, like this right here, when I get some greens for them from the outside. If you just throw it on the ground, they have a hard time breaking the leaves because the whole plant blows up. So I use this to hold it down for them so they can peck on it and rip the leaves apart. What else do I have? Oh, okay, so I'm kind of paranoid about the chicks running out of water. So I have water in several different places. I have this pot right here that gets filled automatically when our landscape irrigation turns on. So it just drips and fills this up. That's one source of water. I have more sources of water here because I never want them to run out. I have these 2 bottles, and these 2 bottles have water nipples on the bottom. When they peck on it, the water comes out. And in case that one runs out, I have this 5-gallon bucket with water nipples on the bottom. This 5-gallon bucket also gets filled. If you see this brown, tiny 1/4-inch hose, this is also tied to our drip irrigation on the landscape. So it comes on every other day when our drip irrigation turns on. And to fill this bucket, I don't need to come into the coop to fill it. I have this green hose, and if you see the end out there, I just from the outside connect the garden hose and just fill it up and then disconnect it when this is filled. What else do I have? I use these recycled baskets. These are hanging plant baskets, I believe they were. And I just, these are the nests for them to lay their eggs. These chicks are way too young to lay eggs yet, but when they do get older, when they're about 5 months old, I'm going to line this with grass. And they love to just go in here. I put a little rubber hose so that there's a little bigger grip for them to stand on. And I put these coconut leaves just to give them some privacy. And it's usually thicker, and so I'm going to make it thicker, and they just find their way in and lay their egg. And I also have a basket. I always go to the secondhand store and I grab these baskets. They're like 50 cents each if you catch them like right after Easter or something. And this is where they lay their eggs. And there's one nice brown egg. This is from the adult Rhode Island Red. I just put some grass in there, and she just loves to go up there and lay her eggs. Oh, and there's one more thing here. I made this out of a 5-gallon bucket. I cut it. It's basically a spring tension. when I have them on another diet or I don't want them to eat their regular Purina feed, I block it off. So this just has 2 screws sticking out, and I pretty much just stick it right up here, and I block the access holes so they can't eat that food, and they'll have to eat whatever else I put out here. And I usually put, if there's other food I want them to eat and I don't want them to eat that, I just use that recycled, this is a recycled cap from a fire truck. What else do I have? I think that's about it. So I hope you enjoy these tips, and maybe you can use some of them in your own chicken coop. Thanks for watching. Oh, there's one more. Oh no, I'll make this a separate one. You turned it off already. Oh, there's one more thing I was going to show you. If you do these chicken coops, you'll know a lot of people have problems with rodents, mice running around. So what I do is, watch the back of it. What I do is I have these in several areas around the yard. We used to have mice, but this, I set these little traps here, just like that, and you don't need to bait them. Mice, as most people know, they run along the wall. So as they run along the wall, there's no bait, but as soon as they step on that yellow paddle, the trap triggers and it catches the mice. So this one's been set for at least 3 weeks. We haven't caught any with this because I think they're all gone now, but I do it as a preventive because I don't want to have a mice problem later. But they're fairly easy to set. You just lift up the paddle, put it up there, and because mice run parallel with the wall, always put them this way. Don't put them this way, because what happens if you put them this way, when they hit that trigger, if they're coming this way and they hit the trigger, the spring tension will fly the mouse over the trap, so they'll get thrown off like a catapult. So always put them this way, so it doesn't matter which way they're running, they'll hit that yellow paddle and get caught. And I always put this here, so the chickens, when they're free ranging, they can't hit that yellow paddle by mistake. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.